want to take this opportunity without wasting much time to call on Mr. Tony Soglo. He's the acting station manager at Metro FM. Tony, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. Very good evening to everyone who is here today. My name is Tony Soglo. I'm the acting station manager at Metro FM. In my normal capacity, I am the programs manager, but we all know the ACBC, we all have a lot of actors there, so we moving around and acting in lots of positions. So yeah, I'm currently the acting station manager. I've been in the media and radio industry since 2000, and I am extremely honored to be here. I have one of my colleagues, Jackie, who is our commercial brand sales manager with me today. And it's an honor for us to be here to share and conversate with MLEE. Who is Metro FM? We are a focused progressive lifestyle brand. We are a mentor and a guide for youthful urban adults. We embrace a pragmatic and successful life, and we actively transform the constantly changing environment that we find ourselves in. We also epitomize Black success as a brand. We epitomize Black leadership and also Black attitude. Our listeners are very high achievers with lots of style, confidence, potential, and the enviable ability to feel at home in modern South Africa. Our brand tone, it's quality, we're cosmopolitan, we're full of attitude, we're stylish, we're progressive, we're fun, we're global, we're confident, we're exclusive, and we are trendsetters. As an audience profile, we are rooted in South Africa, yet we exude global appeal. That's what I referred to just now when I was talking to Bali about the ticketing issue. You can be rooted in South Africa, but you've got to think globally. And that is what we do as a brand. And I believe that's what's kept us on top of our game for the past 34 years that we've been in the broadcasting environment. We set global standards for local entertainment. We're a national movement that successful people want to belong to, and an opportunity to identify with success and exclusivity as a brand. This is just a bit of a mandate in terms of what we need to do as per our license conditions. We need to broadcast 35% of local music and 65% of international music. I normally get the question everywhere I go when I speak, and the question is, why do you guys play so little South African music? And the first thing I say is that from a mandate perspective, the law or the mandate from ICASA requires us to play a minimum of 35% local music, and that's what you get for commercial brands around the country, and then international music at 65%. But as a station, we actually average between 45 and 50% of local music as a specific output from music. News and current affairs, 13 minutes each. And obviously, we are an English brand medium. This slide is very important in terms of businesses from a small business perspective. This just shows as a brand, as a radio station, who do we target and what it is that we'll be looking at. Our core audience is 25 to 34. We are 35% of that. We split our male and female gender between 50 and 50. We're predominantly Black, as you can see that 87% of our audience is Black, 9% of our audience is colored, and then 2% split between white and Asian. Our listeners are mainly Nguni speaking, which is about 47%, which is Zulu and Xhosa. And where we broadcast to metros, 95% of metros, urban areas, as well as rural areas. If you take a look at the provinces which Metro FM is large at, we are the #1 station in Gauteng specifically, and because this is obviously because Midrand is in Gauteng, I'm going to focus a bit more on Gauteng in the next couple of slides. This just gives a roundabout information of what radio is in South Africa. I just wanted to just give a background to many people. You might know radio from listening to it, but not knowing how best you can use a radio to enhance your business. And that's why I think we are here today. Radio is currently a medium that penetrates 93% of South Africa. No other medium in this country, whether it's digital, whether it's print, whether it's television, no other medium penetrates South Africa as much as radio does. Just about 38 million people listen to radio on a weekly basis, and this is per the last RAMs that came out for the radio industry at the end of March this year. This just shows you who listens to radio the most. And again, Gauteng listeners are the highest number of people that listen to radio in South Africa. So as business people, as small business, you are in the right province in terms of being able to utilize radio to enhance your business. But the question then becomes, how then do you do something like that? This, I'm just going to briefly just go through that. This is a slide that speaks to loyalty in South Africa. 70% of people listen to only one radio station per week. And that is how we listen to radio. When you grow up, you listen to one specific radio your whole life. And then it gets to a point where you sort of might outgrow it, but you always go back to it at some point in time. And that's why you see that number so high. This becomes a holy grail of what you as consumers and people that sort of consume radio listen to radio for. And we use that to then create content, but at the same time to sell your products to the people that listen to radio. So number one on the list is music. Music is the number one reason why people, according to research, listen to radio in South Africa. Then it's followed by news, then it's followed by phone-ins, then it's followed by religious content, current affairs, soapies, advice, celebrity, weather, sports, traffic, competitions, and the financial market. This should give you an idea of content that you should create, whether it's Mbali or Vusi or Fanti. How then do I create content that sort of speaks to this? Because this is what speaks to the 93% of people that listen to radio in South Africa, which is 40 million, and just under 40 million of the population who listen to radio as a whole. This is the top 5 radio stations in the country by what is known as SEM, which is socioeconomic measurement. If you look at that, you can see that from SEM 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is sort of the higher LSM of the country, Metro FM as a brand leads all the top stations within that specific SEM group. So what does that mean technically? What that means is that if you want to speak to people who literally have the chankuras, who are able to sponsor you, are able to do certain things, or give off money, this is who you should be speaking to as a brand. This is also a slide that speaks to commercial radio and PBS radio, which is public broadcasting radio. If you look at that, this shows people who listen to radio, by cell phones, by vehicles, television, and computers. Metro FM has, together with RSG, which is RSG, one of the SABC stations, has the highest number of people that listen to radio in their cars. So, which means that people are on the go and listening to radio at the same time. 31% of our audiences listen to us in their cars, and we only bettered by RSG, which is at 32%. If you look at computer, which is streaming, the national average is at 3%, and we currently smack bang on the national average, as it were. Same thing with listening by location. If you look at that, people listening to radio stations at home, in their cars, at work or university or college, or again at restaurants, shopping centers, airports, and so forth. Now, I said I was going to zoom into Gauteng specifically because of the fact that this is a mid-rand local economic empowerment. Now, this just shows the total look of how radio is listened to in Gauteng. 81% of the population of Gauteng listen to radio via radio sets, and then 37% of them listen to radio via vehicles. This is the highest percentage you'll get across the country when it comes to vehicle, cell phone, as well as television listening, even streaming as well. You wouldn't get any higher than this in South Africa as a province. Now, if again I break it down into the top 10 stations in Gauteng, out of the 9.5 million people that listen to radio in Gauteng, 18% of them listen to Metro FM, followed by Ukozi, then Lesedi, then 947, Kaya, Jacaranda. So don't believe the hype. Metro FM is still number one, has been number one for the longest time, and will remain being number one. And why is that? I'm going to show you the reason why that is. As small businesses, what are the available content platforms and opportunities for small businesses on Metro FM? On our breakfast show, for example, we have different features targeting different people at different times of the day, simply because we have what you call market segmentation of our audiences. We know that different types of people listen to radio at different times. So content that we put out speaks directly to those audiences. So for example, on our breakfast show, we've got a feature which is called Gym Jam. Gym Jam is a daily feature which speaks to entrepreneurs in the fitness and health environment. Now, that you will get every single day. We started doing this feature about 3-4 years ago, and it's amazing how, actually 3 years ago, and it's amazing how within COVID, how many television platforms, how many shows started doing exercises and putting on television and putting wherever it is. And we started doing that a long time ago. Now, if someone who is in the environment of digitization, for example, if let's say if Vusi were able to see something like this and come to Metro and say, hey guys, listen, I do digital work. How about I partner with you guys and go around and maybe get 5, 6, 7 of all these gym or exercise health entrepreneurs, film them in different places, bring them to you guys, sell that, and perhaps we can split the profits. Now that's how you begin thinking when you see content like this. You don't just see the content and think to yourself, oh, it's just gym, it's just that. You begin to think about it in your own space. Same thing with Fantonda, same thing with Mbali as well. We have a feature which is entrepreneurship focused, which happens every Wednesday on the breakfast show. Now that feature specifically, we created that feature because of the fact that we realized, just like Vusi, there are many young people who start businesses but need help. They need help in order to propel their business. So what we then do is we give them 90 seconds to tell us about their business, and then tell us what kind of help that they need. And then we then get an expert in that field to then coach them to say, okay, listen, if I am someone who is who does videos, or who does, I'm in the PR environment, I'm struggling to get clients, or when clients come to me, they stay for a short period of time, how then do I ensure that I gain longer traction? And how do I ensure that my sort of skill or my business is on a long-term basis? We then get the expert for you, who then coaches you and gives you that information that you might need. And most of the time, it's literally top-end experts that we get that you probably would never have gotten should you have gone to them directly. We also, this is part of the entrepreneurship feature that I'm referring to, that happens every Wednesday. We give young businesses the opportunity to come and talk about their businesses, because we realize the importance of that sector within the country. Rafil, where he makes bread, we brought him on, and I was listening to him. One of his problems was that he didn't have a vehicle to deliver the bread that he made. He was getting orders, and he wasn't getting a vehicle to do that. After the interview we gave him, 2 weeks later he came back and said Avis was listening. Avis then decided to give him 2 vans. There was a company which had bicycles, decided to give him bicycles as well, so for him to be able to expand on his business. We have Stephen, who owns a milling, who owns a mill. He obviously makes his own, his own sort of meal. We have Joseph over here. He makes his own shoe range, and these are young people that we give the opportunity to as Metro to expand on their business. On the bridge, which is 9 to 12, that obviously is with Dineo, Lerato, and Somizi. We've got a feature called a Spotlight, which is a weekly feature which we want to shine the spotlight on people who would like who are making a difference. Usually inspirational entrepreneurs like Tema, who has a plus size business. That is one thing that we pride ourselves in, is being able to give people that opportunity. We also have Lunch with Thomas and Pearl. Lunch with Thomas and Pearl is 12 to 3 on a weekday basis. And this is for entrepreneurs who are in the culinary or the restaurant or the food business. We profile your business on air. And we also give you social media platform and presence as well. All the features we have to all our followers on Twitter, all our followers on Instagram, as well as Facebook. All of that comes with that as well. And that's something that we do as a brand, to give a platform to chefs like Melusi here. Melusi is a chef who was starting out. We gave him the opportunity, and he has grown from strength to strength as a brand. Thomas and Pearl as well, we've got a feature called How To. It's a weekly feature for entrepreneurs in different spheres, where we get entrepreneurs to inform us about how they get to make different things. So it can be anything at all. Over here, we have Sine. Sine makes ice cream. So she then comes and talks about her business, but at the same time, communicates on how to make ice cream. So as much as she's advertising a business, she's teaching our audience how to make ice cream. We also have Dr. Tumelo, who is an events planner. She came through and talked about what it takes to be an events planner, so that someone who's listening is able to take that and go, hey, I can do that, but these are the tips that I would need. This sort of speaks very, very, very closely to Vusi. Vusi, we've got a feature on Metro on Thomas and Pearl called the Film Show Reel, as well as the Book Show Reel. The Film Show Reel is about young people who are in the film or the anything that has to do with visuals. And we give them the opportunity to come through and tell us about what it is that they do. And give us a sort of sample, like you just did with us right now, sample some of the stuff that we have, that you might have, to go, okay, fine, this is what we do. If anyone out there wants to get in touch, this is the quality of work that I do. This is where you can find us, and this is where we are available. Grace and Missy, who are filmmakers, they own their own studio. And they came through to the stage to talk about that. Same thing with Martin. Martin, who is on the book reel, the book show reel. We've got a platform where we give opportunities to authors, young authors who have written books, short stories, long stories, any type of, as long as we know that it is something that is going to sort of give back to you and the talent and that you have as an entrepreneur. That is something that we offer as well from a platform perspective. Then we've got a feature called Down to Earth. Now, we realized how important the farming industry is to our country. And so one of the things and goals that we had 3 years ago was, we know that it's a very important part of the economy. And we realized that we needed to shine the light on farming and make it cool again. When people hear about farming, they think it's about wearing an overall and gumboots and being in the mud. And we thought to ourselves, listen, there are many young people out there that are doing so much for the economy. So let's create a platform where they can come through and talk about what they do as farmers, but encourage other young people wherever they are in the country to be able to do that. This young lady, she is into chicken farming, and no one would look at her and think to herself, geez, does she do farming? That's all she does. She's into farming, and we gave her the opportunity to come through and talk about how she started with the chickens, where she is now, who she's supplying, and many small and other medium businesses would hear it and give her the opportunity to expand on her business. And so that is something that we hold very true and dear to ourselves as Metro. And then we've got Metro FM Talk, which is literally what we refer to as the base of our small business shows. It's specifically a platform where we push small businesses as a whole. It provides businesses not only with a platform to talk about their business, but we bring in the best experts in different fields to give advice on, amongst other things, sustainability of businesses, which is the one thing that we have found. And through the conversations and through the presentations we've had so far, sustainability of businesses is absolutely, it's one of those things that is, I mean, I'm in business myself, and being able to sustain your business is extremely, extremely difficult without COVID-19. Now, with COVID-19, it almost seems like it's impossible to do. So Mondays for us on Metro FM Talk, we talk about consumer affairs, labor force content, so HR issues. So if you've got a staff, how do you deal with that and sort of those issues? Then we've got Tuesdays where we split every Tuesday of the month into specific things. The first Tuesday of the month, we profile small businesses in different fields. And then the second Tuesday of the month, as you can see, is SMME Help Talk. So an SMME would then send through what it is that they might possibly need help in. And we then again bring in people that are able to answer those questions one-on-one. And again, these are people that are in high corporate, they've done it all and they've seen it all. So they're able to give you advice and they're able to give you the platform. And we are happy to report that so many small businesses that have been on this platform have come back to us and say, yo, this person that you guys gave us or who you linked us up with has been absolutely amazing. And we see sort of a turnaround in our business. Wednesdays, we go into technology and look at Africa, which again is something that I encourage many of you guys to do from a business perspective. Branch out. Don't only focus on your surroundings. And like I said, COVID-19 has made it so much so that you are able to work. We're able to have these meetings without necessarily being in the same place. You can speak to someone who is in Zambia, someone who is in Tanzania, who is in Egypt, who is in Nigeria, to ensure, I mean, from a PR perspective, Ms. Twala, you're able to go, listen, I can be your PR or publicist in South Africa to many of the artists who are in the other parts of the country. We get so many artists within Africa wanting to get playlists or wanting to be managed in South Africa. An opportunity there arises from a technological perspective. And then Thursdays, we look at culture, health, as well as social cohesion not only from a business perspective, but then how to keep yourself healthy from your surroundings. And when we look at it, all of that from a business perspective, it sort of loops into one whole thing. We then also have partnership opportunities. Small businesses or medium-term businesses in Africa are growing pretty much. This is a story that we love talking about very much. Batu Footwear. I'm not sure if you guys know Batu, from humble beginnings to where they are now. We have partnered with them. They're opening stores all over the country, even within COVID. That's because they've been able to persevere. And if you listen to the story of Batu Footwear, you would be encouraged as a small business person to sort of grind through the mud to get through to where you are. So we also offer opportunities for small businesses like Batu. I wouldn't call Batu a small business because they sort of medium to large term business. Even Skyroll Twist. I'm not sure if you guys are aware or know of Skyroll Twist. It's a drink that came into the market a couple of years back, which was brought in by a South African young man to rival Appetizer, and we saw the need to partner with him, and that is something that has been great for him as a business. So we as a platform give so many young businesses an opportunity to grow. So there are a number of available content platforms for small business on Metro FM for you to be featured on it. We also have a lot of commercial elements as well, which drives your business more. And that's where our commercial enterprise department comes in. Jackie Modise, who is on the line with us as well. She is our CBSM, which is our commercial brand sales manager. She's available for all those who need more info. I'm not sure if she's on the line right now so that she can then add to that from that commercial perspective, because all of what I'm talking about are mainly sort of once off in terms of that. The question that becomes, how do you sustain your business? How do you ensure that your business is heard, and how do you ensure that the right audience hears about who you are and what it is that you offer? This is my information, sort of my details, and available when we are. I have noted some points down, which I think we'll chat about once Jax is done. Thank you so much.
Utlantipiala, ding dong belele, ding dong belele, banabasikolo, yang sikolo, Utlantipiala, ding dong belele, ding dong belele. Everybody moving bodies, party.
Shavana bomb spot, we never miss a part. Shavana bomb spot, and I'm the top of my chart. Everybody chart, push a shang and I'm a stand. Papa, we should plan. Life is a movie, I'm in Kala Yami Park.